If this project is a sign that this trend of taking classic movies and turning them into slasher films is here to stay, I cannot wait until they run out of ideas and have to do it to more recent movies. Like, you're telling me if a film was out right now that was Paddington 2, but it was a slasher, you wouldn't be watching that right now? Don't even lie to yourself, that is a day one watch. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today we're talking about the brand new classic movie turned slasher film, It's a Wonderful Knife. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. After saving her town from a psychotic killer, Winnie Carruthers' life is less than wonderful. When she wishes she'd never been born, she finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe where without her, things could be much, much worse. So this is one of those movies where I wasn't really expecting it to be all that good in the first place, but I was still kind of looking forward to it, if you know what I mean. Not sitting down expecting anything earth-shattering or profound. I mean, come on, the title is It's a Wonderful Knife, but I'm always down for a schlocky, low-budget horror film with a little bit of a holiday flair added onto it. And we've been seeing this trend a lot recently of taking a popular classic movie, taking a contrasting genre, mashing them together and just seeing what happens, especially with horror. Totally Killer takes Back to the Future and makes it a slasher. Freaky takes Freaky Friday and makes it a slasher. It's a Wonderful Knife takes It's a Wonderful Life and makes it, you guessed it, a slasher. And I actually enjoyed my time with both Totally Killer and Freaky, and the guy that wrote Freaky is the writer here again for It's a Wonderful Knife. But I think this is where we're seeing the gimmick wear off. We knew it had to happen at some point. They had a good run, but this movie is where we reach the point of no return for me. This was a good old-fashioned Christmas shit show. Now, to get everything out on the table here, the movie wasn't all bad from start to finish. The first 20 minutes, they do a really good job playing off of all of the tropes, and it had the cheesiness necessary for a genre-bending film with a setup like this. They hit on all of the Christmas cliches, there's plenty of annoying residents in town, and they give a good sample of the gruesome kills that are hopefully to be expected over the course of the rest of the film. And I actually think that makes this entire movie more frustrating as a whole, because I don't know if they ran out of budget or they ran out of steam, but pretty much everything that happens after the defining moment of our main character's memory being wiped out of existence is a total nightmare, and not the good horror movie kind. None of the jokes are landing, all of the kills are boring, and they move through the plot faster than green grass through a goose. Now, there is a ton of the plot and character development that doesn't really make sense and add up over the course of the film. And a lot of the times, if a movie is really fun and bloody like one in this subgenre is supposed to be, you kind of forgive all that stuff because it's a non-stop barrage of creative kills and big laughs. But since this film misses the mark with its comedy and doesn't lean into the blood and the gore, it comes off as very tame and cheap. The worst thing you can do when it comes to tone is half-ass it, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. And don't get me wrong, I think when you try to pull off making a film with this intentionally cheesy and campy tone, it's way harder to find the sweet spot and balance everything out than it is if you go at it with a serious perspective in mind. But they just do not do themselves any favors when it comes to executing this premise. Now, unfortunately, we have to quickly touch on the performances here. The acting in this film makes Hallmark movies look like Oscar contenders. Now, do I think some of that is the script's fault? Of course. But man, oh man, are there some bad performances sprinkled in here. Justin Long gets a pass, obviously. I'm always down for him running amok in a horror movie, absolutely hamming it up, firing off one-liners, making a total ass of himself. And let's be perfectly clear, he was by far the best part of this movie. But him and his fake teeth are just not given enough to do here, and the stuff that he is given to work with is way below what we've come to expect from his recent horror outings. Barbarian makes this look like a student film in comparison. I have no idea how this movie's gonna be received. Obviously, this is all just my opinion. People might love it. But if this film comes out and it's universally panned, I'm hoping it can serve as a little bit of a course correction that this combination can't be applied to every film ever and deliver a serviceable product. You can't just spin a wheel, pick a movie, add horror elements to it, and jam it in the blender. I don't have to be the guy to tell you that there are plenty of things that do not go well together in a blender. Just because you can blend it doesn't mean you should. I love tuna fish on its own. I love Nutella on its own, but you better believe you wouldn't catch me within a country mile of the monstrosity we'd end up with if you decided to blend those two things together. Overall, guys, in case it wasn't plainly obvious already, I really did not enjoy my time with this one. The gimmicky setup gets tired after the first 30 minutes, the kills won't satisfy any kind of horror fan, and outside of Justin Long, the performances are rough. Your mileage may vary with this one, but when it comes to the tone, it's not campy enough, but it's also not serious enough. So it ended up coming off as very muddled and jarring for me. I'd rather get coal in my stocking than tickets to see this movie again. It's a Wonderful Knife gets a Sully score of 1.5 stars. So that's my review of the latest classic film turned slasher movie. What do you think's a film that would actually benefit from a genre change? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure there'll be some pretty good picks there. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.